Is engineering a boring subject?
As I was saying, I wasn't good with math, right? And then when I look at it, I was like, what is this? How come my math suddenly become English?
What's the difference between a chemical engineer and a chemist?
I don't know. After class, right, you'll see like that long line all the way to the door.
So people actually ask questions.
Yeah, so like the queue was so long. I wanted to ask a question, it's okay, I will.
Take queue number, then go eat lunch first.
I was like, I will come back.
I think the department need to pay you. 做代言人.
Come join NUS Civil Engineering.
Spokesperson. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Youth Tea Party, the show where we spill the tea on all things youth. We are not a political party and have no interest in running for office. University Major Series. In this series, I talk to various university students or graduates and learn a little bit more about their majors and perhaps ask burning questions on whether their majors are fun, meaningful, useful, and most importantly, whether they can get a good job or not, right? Yeah, so today we'll be talking about engineering, one of the most popular majors in Singapore, degrees in Singapore, right? Majors are subsets of engineering. So there are all kinds of engineering, but today we'll be talking to Ethel. Hello, Ethel. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. I've been well.
Yeah, you are probably one of our more extroverted guests in this show. How are you feeling coming to this podcast? Have you done a podcast before?
No, this is like my first time.
Okay, very good.
Okay,
Then let's have fun.
Okay,
Let's
I'll have fun.
Yeah. According to the Department of Statistics, right, in Singapore, 2022, there were about 13,000 graduates.
From engineering?
No. In total.
Oh.
Cannot be engineering.
I was like, huh?
But engineering is second. Yeah, second. So they account for almost 20%, right, of the 30,000. Can you guess the first? Which degree is more popular than engineering?
Business.
Yeah, quite obvious,
Of
right?
course. Of course. Everybody wants to study business.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. So there's this article from Straits Times, right, very recently, right? So I read out a little bit to you. It said, my father is an engineer and so is my maternal grandfather. I've been inspired by them to study engineering as well at Nanyang Technological University or National University of Singapore. But my friends say that with my grades, I can aim for something more competitive and exciting. Or so insulting. Yeah. Some of them feel that engineering is a boring subject and such a degree does not really offer many career options. So today we are going to base our discussion on this. We want to debunk some of the myths. We want to think about what engineering can offer as a degree and as an education. But before we do that, right, I always like to ask my guests some random rubbish. Can you share some TMI with us? Not? Any random stuff you want to share with us?
I'm actually part of the myth. I thought that I would never be an engineer.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So when I was a kid
Yeah.
and moving towards like my secondary school education, I always wanted to do something related to planning.
Okay.
Be it events planning, things around like managing. So I never thought that I'll be an engineer.
Wait, so you already understood that you wanted to do planning from like secondary school?
Because so when I was in secondary school, primary school, I was like, prefect and stuff. Then you organize events. And then I really, really enjoy doing that.
Whoa.
So I was like, okay, I want to do something like that. I want to be a planner. I want to work with people. That's what I liked. And I was really bad at math. So, engineering, you have to be good at math.
Yeah.
But I was horrible at it.
Okay.
I was really horrible at it.
Okay.
And then my mom was like, you want to be an engineer now? Yeah, so
Okay,
I'm part of that.
We'll find out more about your journey and myth, right? But right now, you are a yoga instructor.
Yes.
And you have been a yoga instructor for how long?
Right now about 6 months.
6 months.
Yeah. So pretty fresh into the
that's
yoga
quite fresh.
journey.
Oh, but you obviously didn't start yoga 6 months ago lah.
No. I started yoga like when I started uni.
Okay, so like maybe about 4.5 years ago.
Around there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what prompted you to become a yoga instructor?
Actually, I was working at the yoga studio that I'm at.
Yeah.
Like I was the part-time front desk. So I was doing the reception, the check-ins for all of them. And then I got free classes. Ooh. So me being me, I was like, oh yes, I have to make use of all my classes I'm going.
Wait. So but you started working as the front desk first or you started doing yoga first?
I was the front desk first. And then after that I did yoga.
Not bad.
And after I do yoga and I was like, okay, maybe it's time for me to take the yoga course.
Okay.
So you have to take the course.
Yeah.
You have to do 200 hours.
Okay.
And then you can be a certified yoga teacher. And that's when I got pulled in to be like, do you want to change from a front desk to being a teacher? Ooh. So I did some tryouts with my studio and then they hired me as a teacher. So that's how it started. So honestly, I didn't think about being a teacher initially. I just went in because I was like, I want to learn something more about yoga. I want to learn like the insights of yoga. And then end up I'm like, oh, I'm here now 6 months into teaching.
What is the hardest thing about being a yoga instructor?
Being present. Honestly, being present.
This one is super like, yoga, super mindset.
Yeah, I know with your mind. Because sometimes, like, because I was doing my final semester and I was teaching yoga also. Yeah. So that was really hard for me because I found myself trying to be present while teaching my students. Oh. But my head was thinking about, I have to finish my final year project. I have to finish my resume. I have to do this. I have to do that. There's so many things. But then I realized that sometimes people come and they realize that as long as you're there, as long as you're trying your best, they realize it. So I think that was a huge pressure on me when I first started. But after a while, I was just like, I'm just here to have fun. I'm just here to teach what I want to teach to my students, let them enjoy. And I think the outcome was really good until now.
Yeah, and I think just having spoken to you for a while, we really learned a few things, right? The first thing we learned is that in life, nothing's for certain. You didn't know that you wanted to be an engineer. You didn't know that you wanted to be a yoga instructor, but now you are getting into it and you're doing well and you're enjoying it, most importantly, which is great. So I think that shows that you have the mindset to shift things around and adapt to things, right? So yeah, kudos to you for that. I think that's really interesting. So you went to Polytechnic.
Yep.
Right? What do you do in Polytechnic?
My course in Polytechnic was actually called Sustainable Urban Design and Engineering.
Oh.
So I was from Ngee Ann Polytechnic.
Okay.
And then right now that course has totally revamped. So in my years there, I actually did both architecture and civil engineering.
Nice.
So that was what I did in my Polytechnic.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So then your journey started in Poly lah, because you already you were exposed to civil engineering in Poly, right? So tell us about how you made that jump, because in secondary school, like you said, you had no intention to do engineering, ma. How do you make that jump, leh?
Okay, so cause I'm doing architecture and civil engineering, so I always was more driven towards doing architecture because I like to design.
Yeah.
So as much as I want to be a planner, I know that as a young child, I like to design things. So that's something that I want to do also. So I was like, okay, this course is something that does not restrict my opinions, my choices yet, because I'm still young. Maybe that's something that I don't really want to do. So I just wanted to try. So when I did architecture, I had so much fun doing architecture. But then after a while, I got a little bit burnt out. Because, architecture, you have to stay up really late.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, I was doing civil engineering also.
Yeah.
So I took a while to think about whether or not which jump I want to take. Do I want to have a career that I have to constantly stay up and constantly do certain things and not be so creative, or do I want a job that I can solve problems? So then it thought to me that I actually like solving problems. And then I realized that, maybe civil engineering might be a good choice for me.
But wait, so let me get this straight. The diploma in Ngee Ann offers you a kind of a double route, both architecture and civil engineering.
Correct.
Isn't that damn xiong?
Yeah, so in your first year is the most xiong one. So you have to do architecture works, you stay up until very late, and then you still have to do the math side of the civil engineering. And then after that, in your year 2, you choose which one you want to specialize in.
Oh.
But I think now it's more xiong because now they do like architecture, design, product design also in one.
Oh.
So it's like the whole first year is quite xiong.
Oh, but after second year you can choose already.
Yeah,
so you chose civil engineering.
Yeah, I took like 3 tries to take back my letter to see whether I want to choose civil.
So what's the main difference, right, between engineering in poly and engineering in university? Is there a main difference?
Yes.
Okay, what's the main difference?
It's tougher.
As in,
it's so much tougher.
University is tougher lah.
Yes.
Okay.
So much tougher.
Tougher in what sense?
Maybe because when I was enrolled into university, it was during COVID.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I literally had nobody. I had no friends, nobody to ask for notes, nobody to ask. And then in university, it's more of like you study and do your best. And then if you need help, you ask the professor. But in poly, it's like, it's more interactive. Like my lecturer is just right in front of me and my class is really small. There was only 19 of us.
Yeah.
So whenever I had a problem, I just have to go to her. Or like whenever I needed help, I go to her. But I think when I came into university, the COVID thing was one thing and I didn't really have that support there. It was hard on you mentally, physically. You're just tired. It's just studying.
Yeah.
And then the math is harder. I don't know why. The math was so hard. I was like, as I was saying, I wasn't good at math, right? And then when I look at it, I was like, what is this? How come my math suddenly become English? It's not numbers anymore.
Oh, it's not numbers?
Yeah, I was like, what's going on?
Then what is it if it's not numbers?
It's like probability, or like suddenly your paper will be like X, Y, Z, so many different things. And I'm just like, what am I doing?
Okay. So before we delve deeper, right, there are so many different kinds of engineering, right? So you are a civil engineer, right? But there is like mech engine, electrical engineering, so what? Chemical engineering, aerospace, all this. Can you tell me what's the difference? So do you all take like a foundational year first or something in university?
I know we do take some foundational mods.
Yeah.
Like we have those math mods that we have to take that's similar. But most of like your engineering core mods is just based on your specialization. Like for example, civil, mechanical. So I do have friends in mechanical engineering, do have friends in electrical engineering, and we share our notes for like the mods that we take that are more like open to our engineering, like the math mods. We do take a bit of coding mods also. So there's this mod called machine learning. So that's a whole entire engineering mod on its own.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the sake of people who don't really know, right, for the lay person, right, now I say one engineering, right, you just give me one example. So for example, maybe I'm also making this too simple, but say if you say civil engineering, right, people will straight away think about infrastructure, bridges.
Is it?
I don't
Really?
know. That's what I think.
People ask me what is that?
Correct. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I want you to tell me, like, if I say like electrical engineering, give me like a product or something that electrical engineers do, just for the sake of it. Yeah, okay, we start with civil engineering first.
Okay. What do I do?
Yeah, like a product or something that can be associated with civil engineering.
Concrete and steel.
Ah.
That's something
concrete
that not a
and
lot of
steel.
people know.
I see. So concrete and steel. So y'all will say, for example, work with architects to build a building, or no?
Okay, so to put it out easily for people,
Yeah.
the architects, you work on aesthetics.
Sure.
So the building looks nice on the outside.
Yeah.
The civil engineers work on the skeleton of the building.
Okay.
So a little bit of like, doctor.
Yeah.
You have the doctor who works your bones inside, and you have the doctor for the facial aesthetics purposes.
see.
So the same thing.
I
So
see,
architect
I
is
see.
the aesthetics one.
Okay.
Then civil engineering work more on the how to make sure that the architect's visual can come out into place. Yeah.
Very, very good way of explaining it.
Yeah, because I explained it to a lot of people before.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I was
See?
like, why people don't really understand what civil engineering
Every
does.
major is like that. Or
Yeah,
every
it's
major
true,
also people got misconceptions.
Yeah.
Okay, then electrical engineering
Lighting.
cannot be just lighting, what? As in
They
lighting
do
as in what?
a lot of things.
Yeah, so like cannot be just lighting, ma.
Okay, so electrical engineers work with civil engineers also.
Okay.
So like for example, your BTOs, right?
Yeah.
Once it's done, right? And then you want to have like the lighting, the trunkings in it. You have your electrical engineers come in and then they will see like how they want to pull the wires, the cords. I don't know what they do, but that's all I know about
Okay,
them.
so then let me just be devil's advocate, right? So I recently also did my own BTO, everything, right? But I didn't ask an electrical engineer to come do my lights, what? Just contractor can do only, ma.
Yeah. So the contractors, right,
Ah.
are mostly electrical backgrounds.
Yes, correct. So
Yeah, lor.
my question is, with all due respect to the job functions, what's the difference between, say, an electrical engineer and a technician, for example?
Honestly,
Because the people who did my lights, they don't call themselves electrical engineers,
they call
what?
themselves technicians.
Yeah, lor.
Aw.
So what's the difference?
Some electrical engineers, right, they design the
Circuitry
pulling
and all
of the
that stuff.
circuit and all, but some of them are just like they come in and then they help you fix your light. So those are your technicians. It's the same thing. Like civil engineers, right? We design. Like for example, we are the consultants. We design, and then we have people coming in to do for us. So like our workers, they will like help us
I see.
do and execute.
I see. So you're primarily conceptualize and design.
Kind of, yes.
And then consult on things.
Yeah, so you work hand in hand with the civil engineers also.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Then Mac engine. Mac engine is the most popular, I think.
Wow.
From the numbers.
Mac
numbers.
engine is popular.
Yeah.
But honestly, I'm not very sure what the Mac engine people do. I'm so sorry,
Make
Mac
robots,
engines
make
out
robots.
there. Yeah, but I know they like do machines and stuff lah. Like I have friends in Mac engine, but
I guess they design machines all.
yeah.
And they build machines all.
Okay, my cousin is in mechanical engineering,
Yeah.
but I don't really know what he does. I just know he's in engineering.
I guess really build machines all, like
Yeah.
really literally build machines all, like those heavy duty machines or whatever.
I guess, probably.
Then aerospace engineering
Aerospace
is
is the
obviously
aeroplanes,
aviation
yeah,
stuff lah.
Aviation.
Then chemical engineering, eh? What's the difference between a chemical engineer and a chemist?
I don't know. Honestly, my knowledge of engineering ends at mechanical and aero. Chemical engineering, I almost said, right? I almost said like, oh, they settle chemicals.
Wow, Ken. I genuinely really don't know, which is why
I'm also curious about that.
I get y'all to come and ask y'all questions about this. I also don't know.
Okay, time for you to find a chemical engineer.
I will. Based on this, I will definitely find a chemical engineer. Yeah, for those chemical engineers watching, please leave some comments and educate us. What do chemical engineers know? We want to learn. We really want to learn.
Yes.
Okay. So, just now we were talking about the Straits Times article, right?
Yes.
So this person said a few things, right? So the first thing that they said was that engineering is a boring subject. Is engineering a boring subject?
Not wrong. It
really
is boring.
Okay. In what way?
It's boring because it's repetitive. Like you have to take a lot of practice, a lot of time to understand that same concept for you to take that concept and then put it into somewhere else that you can use again. So it's boring if you don't like it, I would say. But for me, I like solving problems. So I find engineering boring when I didn't like maybe that module or I didn't like a certain thing that I was learning in civil engineering. Yeah. So it's not everything in civil engineering that I love.
Sure.
Like there's many parts of civil engineering.
Yep.
And then those parts that I'm not that interested in, I would find it like, oh, it's so tiring to go and open my mod and like look at it and like study it.
So what's your favorite aspect of civil engineering?
I like to do structural. So structural meaning that I like to do the concrete, the steel of the building. I like to do like the beams and the columns that you see in your buildings. Those is something that I like. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean that's also really important, right?
Yeah.
Literally holds the city
That's like
together.
the skeleton of the building that you build up.
It's the skeleton of the city,
Yeah.
the entire city, right?
But there's also another skeleton of the city though.
Which is?
It's the soil.
Oh.
Your soil.
Soil engineers, right? There's such thing,
Yeah,
right?
so they are called geotechnical engineers and they are part of civil engineering. So that is like, like if I rank, right, what I like in civil, that's probably like my second one. Because when I was in poly, I did an internship with HDB and then I was in geotechnical works and also infrastructure and also did a little bit of land reclaim works.
Oh.
So I think that one's more interesting in the sense that it's not very common that you get to understand like soil works in class. So when you go there and you see the soil, you're like, wow, actually quite interesting. Yeah.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
So, do you think there's a hierarchy of different engineering? Like maybe in Singapore, do you think in terms of like, job-wise or career options or starting pay, is there a hierarchy or do you think it all depends on you?
Actually, different engineerings have their different pay grades.
Okay.
Also. So like for maybe like engineering science, there's like one of this mod called engineering science that are major. They actually get paid higher because they learn about everything about engineering. So they learn things like civil engineering, they learn mechanical engineering. So they are very widely knowledgeable in things. So they get paid higher, but I don't really feel it, you know what I mean? Like, I don't really feel it like, for example, my mechanical friend is earning more than me or like my aerospace friend is earning more than me. It's more of like how much the company that you're going in is able to provide for you that year.
Fair enough. So the other thing that this Straits Times article said was about the degree not really offering many career options. I think disagree, right?
For civil engineering in general?
Let's talk about civil engineering.
Okay. If it's for civil engineering, that's not the case. Because the main reason why I was okay with choosing civil engineering as compared to architecture was because of how wide this sector is.
Yeah.
I can be a project manager. I can be a consultant in engineering. I can work in the government sector. There's so many things I can do. I can do geotechnical works, or I can even, like what I did a minor in urban studies. You can also do that. So that's the reason why I chose civil engineering. And there's a lot of jobs out there, but it's whether or not you want to work that job. You can be a contractor, you can be a consultant. There's really a lot of stakeholders you can work for in civil engineering.
Yeah, I think the department need to pay you to 做代言人.
Come join NUS Civil Engineering.
Spokesperson. Very good, very good. Okay, let's talk about civil engineering in NUS.
Okay.
Right, what is the community like? The people around you, what's the community like?
Okay. First things first, very, very honest, is that I didn't really have a community because of COVID. COVID happened and I came to uni, so I didn't really have a school life.
Sure. How was the online community like?
So the online community was a bit hard for me to understand because it's like you have to do your meetings online, your project works online, and I really miss that, physical aspect with your group mates and all. But I actually joined the civil engineering club in NUS in my first year, but then I left because we couldn't have camps and all, so there was no point because I was in the events department and it was quite sad. But the people that I met there, they were really helpful. They were really nice. Like the friends that I made, because mine was mainly the poly batch. So the poly batch that I hang out with, they were really nice to share their notes, very nice to help you out when you have problems. The professors were all very willing to reply to your emails. They were just open to be like, if you all have any questions, just email us. We understand that you cannot get it all in 2 hours. If you have any questions, just come towards us. And then after class, right, you'll see like that long line all the way to the door because people have so many questions. And sometimes I was wondering...
Wait, this is in person when you were in person already?
Like when my final... last two.
Oh, when they resume lah. So people actually ask questions.
Yeah, so like the queue was so long. I wanted to ask a question. It's okay. I will.
Take queue number, then go eat lunch first.
I was like, I will come back. It's already 6 o'clock. I was like, I go home lah. Never mind. It's okay, prof. I text you. Yeah.
Okay. So the professors generally all quite open, quite helpful. That's good.
It's good.
It's very good. It's very good to hear that. It's very encouraging to hear that.
Yeah.
So, do you have a favorite course? Do you have a favorite professor in engineering?
My friends call me weird for liking it. Like, because I like structure, right?
Yeah.
So, definitely my favorite modules are like concrete and steel. But honestly, right, I don't know if I like it because I like it or because I'm okay at it. You know what I mean? You're doing okay in that mod and you're feeling like, oh, I can solve the questions. Then you're like, oh, I'm happy, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't really have like favorite professors, but I do have memorable professors like in civil engineering.
Okay.
Like mainly like...
What's the difference between a favorite professor and a memorable professor?
Okay, I don't want to favorite people, you know what I mean?
Yo, so
I need to
sweet.
give credit to my other profs also. They're also very good.
Sorry. Can you name one memorable professor?
I got two
memorable professors. Okay.
The first one is like Prof. Tu. So his full name is Prof. Tu Hong Jian.
Okay, so really names, yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
but good things can
course,
name. Good things can name.
Go to NUS if you want to go for his concrete class.
Okay.
So he taught me in year 1. And then in year 1, it was COVID, right? So he did an online class. And then that was like a bit shaky. So he realized that, my teaching not as good. So he told us, right, when he taught us in year 3, he was like, I went overseas for a course to learn how to teach better because I feel like I wasn't doing very well in teaching you guys. And then when I attend his lectures, right, in year 3, I came back for his lectures. Like, you know how engineering lectures are mostly recorded, right? But I came back every Wednesday just to listen to him go through that deck of slides, which I could be hearing at home. Because I was like, wow, if I listen to him now, I can understand for the first time, you know. Because sometimes engineering, you need to use your brain a bit to understand. Yeah. That was my concrete professor.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, then the other memorable prof is actually the civil engineering head, I think.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Prof. Bang.
Okay.
Yeah, so he taught me steel.
Okay.
Same thing.
The steel and concrete
The
girl.
steel and concrete people are good. And then when I went for his class, same thing. I don't know why it's always the Wednesday profs, you know. The Wednesday profs. Then I go for every Wednesday, you know. So like every Wednesday I tell myself, okay, cannot teach yoga. You need to go school, Ethel.
Very good.
Yeah.
So what about Prof. Pang?
He is very dedicated, I would say. Like, I have never seen someone so encouraging before. He'll be like, can one. It's very simple. You guys can do this. Then he will go through and he's very detailed. So he will like have a deck of slides, right? And then he will write on the slides and he will go through every detail. And I really appreciated that because I feel like in engineering, you cannot just give me a slide and then you start talking. And then we are just like, sorry, what are you saying? Like, for example, if I give you like a 3D design of a building and then you say like, okay, this column will go this way, that way. But you know, it takes a lot of visualization in civil engineering.
Yeah.
So I think the way he explained, the way he allowed me to think about, it really gives me a bigger and a better idea because he was very, very experienced. He'll bring in, when he go overseas, right, he'll take photo of the structure, then he'll put in the lecture one.
Wow, good one.
Then I'm just like, you know, you go overseas, you need to enjoy.
This is called dedicated.
Yes, he is.
Wow, excellent. That's really good to know, lah, honestly. So do engineering students have an opportunity to do like a thesis, a dissertation, independent piece of research or something like that?
Okay, so for my major, as far as I know lah, we have 2 roads.
Okay.
1, FYP.
Yeah.
2, design project.
Okay. What's the
so
difference?
FYP is you have like a research question, then you follow a prof. Then that's their final year project. Second one is your design project. You work in groups of 4 or like sometimes 8. Depends on that batch, how many people you all have. Then for example, because I did design project, for my design project, we were given a floor plan. So we had to design a 8-story nursing home building. And then we do that building. So we research mostly basically designing the building, how you want to carry out the building works and stuff. It's not much of like, there's a research question, there's a question for you to answer, not so much about that. Yeah.
I see. But so the design project is hypothetical. You don't have to execute it.
It's just, hypothetical, and then actually the building is already there. It's just more of like,
you can see the inside of the building, so to speak.
So it's like thinking about how, like for example, if it's a playing ground, how would you design it once again as an engineer?
So other than the COVID, right, which obviously was tough for you, what do you think was the greatest struggle you faced as an engineering student?
Struggle in what sense?
It doesn't matter, any kind of struggle.
Great struggle. That means a good struggle.
No,
or like the worst struggle I ever had.
Bad struggle. I mean, you're a very positive person, but I'm sure you also struggle a bit, right?
I do struggle. I struggle with understanding whether or not I actually like civil engineering.
Ooh.
Okay, so that happened before I came to uni. So before I came to uni, I was doing my specialization in civil engineering, right? So I was a bit lost in poly because I didn't really understand what this civil engineering is. I just felt like I was doing physics, I was doing math, I was doing this whole building thing that I cannot really understand in my head. I was like, why am I doing this? Isn't there like a faster way to do this? Isn't there technology to help you with this? Like, why do I need to do this? So in my head, I was like, why am I struggling so hard? Like, why do I have to do all this? And then that's when I was asked to go for internship. And then my internship really changed everything. Like, honestly, my internship was like kind of the biggest reason why I decided to continue studying civil engineering, on top of knowing that I actually like doing urban planning also. Yeah, so my internship really opened my eyes to the field of civil engineering. And then when I go to the field, I was like, wow, I actually like this. I actually like being in the hot sun. I like talking to people. I like understanding what they're doing. I like talking to my supervisors and understanding. And then so after my internship, we had this break before uni started. So I went to work in a contractor firm. And like in a contractor firm, you work with like mostly guys, right? And then at first, I thought I would struggle a lot, but I really enjoyed my time there. And then it really made me realize that, oh, actually, not so much of a struggle, more of like a lost moment. Like you don't know whether like at that moment, I want to be an engineer still, or do I really, I'm just here, you know what I mean? So then that allowed me to go to uni, and that's that. And I enjoyed.
Well, listening to you, I learned something. No? I learned that really if you let yourself go a little bit and you let life take you to certain places, right? And then you genuinely open your mind to accept things. It can really help you achieve happiness or enlightenment. Because a lot of us, we read all these self-help books or we watch YouTube videos or whatever, but we cannot really open up the in Chinese it's called 心结, right?
Correct,
the heart knot.
The heart knot inside.
Heart knot inside.
Understand.
So I think it's so hard to unlock that mindset, And it seems to me like you're able to do it, and that's great. I really wish you the best, and I hope that you can continue thinking like that, because one of the things that I see you struggling with really is the mindset law. We are very negative about things, right? So the fact that you are someone that has opened your mind like that, right, to life, right? Well, I really encourage that to continue. And yeah, hopefully we get you back in future for a mindset episode. Very good, eh? I think your peers can learn a lot from you there, seriously. Do you think practicing yoga and mindfulness has helped you to, maybe has it influenced the way you think and the way you change your thinking?
Definitely. Because when I was doing yoga or practicing yoga, you force yourself to stop at that point. You force yourself to just, at that point, you cannot think about other things. You cannot just tell yourself, like, you cannot say, like, oh, I'm having the shittiest day. I need to do my best in this class. If I don't do it well, I am the worst person on this world. You cannot tell yourself that. You need to tell yourself, like, I'm giving my chance to just be who I am right now. And that's what I always tell my students. I always say, like, you need to listen to yourself. If yourself and your body is telling you cannot, just don't do it. Yeah.
I think being in the moment is so hard, especially for Singaporeans. I mean, most people in the world, but I think especially Singaporeans. For us, I think a lot of us, we go on autopilot. So you wake up already straight away. For me, I wake up at 5:30, right? Then straight away is, what am I going to do? I'm always living in the future. So I try my best to meditate every morning also, but it's tough. Sometimes while meditating, I also catch myself thinking about the future.
Meditation is hard. It's really hard. I can't do it.
Yoga is a bit like moving meditation.
Yeah, so I find the aspect of yoga is that I like the moving one. I don't like the sit still and think.
Yes.
Okay, maybe because I'm also someone that, as much as I'm positive, right? Sometimes when you have that thought in your head, right? I'm someone who like just let your thoughts pass first. And then if you find that one fine day you need to deal with your thoughts, you sit down and then just let yourself absorb to that. So I think that's the reason why I don't like to meditate. Because I don't like to force myself to stop in that moment and think about it right now. Yeah.
I see.
Maybe I have like a big day at work and then I'm like, okay, I need to focus my energy there. Yeah.
I see. Oh, that's really interesting. Yeah. So again, it's great to have you here because I think a lot of us, right, we can learn a lot from mindfulness practices also. Right? It could be yoga, it could be something as simple as walking, taking a walk, or like exercising and all that kind of stuff. I think health and fitness really quite important, to be honest. Okay, so if you were to summarize, like maybe one skill or perspective or maybe content, right? You already said a few things just now, but if you were to summarize one big thing that you got from your education as an engineer, civil engineer, right? What would it be?
I work my mind in a different way that I have never done before. So it's like you work that analytical thinking in you. Like, I don't know, it's like when you see things now, when I see things, I cannot see the world the same way already after I become a civil engineer. I really cannot. When I go out to a shopping mall, I look up. Then I'll be like, I need to walk straight. I need to look straight. Because I'll be like, oh, that is very interesting and everything. And then my family will be like, stop. Just stop.
It's almost like you can see the interior of the building.
So it's like, I think it really shapes me in a way that I think same thing for my fellow civil engineer graduates out there. Like, you can visualize better. You can, not really, you can problem solve better. Because like, there's always going to be a problem. Like, that we are not going to be able to solve every single problem in the building. But at least we know that there's something we can do about it. There's something we can visualize. There's something we can solve. So that's one thing that I took away from engineering. Like, there's always got to be something that I can solve. There's always got to be something that I can do, which I enjoy. Yeah.
I think that's really, really interesting. And what a great way to put it. I really think NUS should hire you to be
come
spokesperson.
to NUS Civil Engineering.
Yeah, exactly. I think you put it really, really well. I'm just very curious, right? Like, can someone be an engineer without an engineering degree? Is it possible, or do you think it's not possible?
As far as I know, not many people want to do that. And I don't really think it's possible. Because, you know, like how engineering is wide, but it's also very niche.
Yeah.
Like, you need to know the actual thing, the actual tool, the actual calculations to do it.
Okay.
So maybe if you learn it and then you tell like your hiring boss, oh, I have experience because I self-study, that kind of thing, they'll be quite impressed because we use a lot of like technology now. We do AutoCAD, we do like Revit, we do all those programs. If you can do that and you never ever study engineering, honestly, you're really good. You're really, really good out there.
One final question for you. Tell me if I'm wrong. Engineering is quite a male-dominated profession, right? Both in terms of university and jobs out there, companies out there, right? how did you negotiate this? Or was it not a problem for you at all? How did you negotiate this in, say, your university time now, especially your year 3 and year 4, right? Where you came back and you started to hang out with people and everything. Was it hard to negotiate? Were there some problems being a woman in engineering, or how was it?
Okay, surprisingly, for civil engineering, my course, it's quite a good mixture. We
Okay.
have both females, males, and it's a very good divide of that. And then for mine, I didn't have the problem because most of my male engineering friends, they were very helpful in working. But one thing I realized about them when I worked with them, because some of them we did project together, they have a different skill, means that they will think deeper as compared to us. They dive in deeper in a sense of the more technical stuff. But then for us, we do more of the stuff that they don't really see, like the surface things that actually might be a problem. So I think I had a good mix with it with my classmates. Like, there was one time we were doing like just a project out of engineering, but we can realize that some of them are better at technical things, and some of us are better at doing the slides, just going through the slides out and everything, the layout, everything. So then we split. Then we realized that, oh yeah, there's actually a difference with it. But if you want to say like working, I also have experience with working in a very male dominant field, because I used to work in a main contractor firm.
Yeah.
So main contractor, I was stationed on site. And then when I went into the company, I was mainly working with the workers on site. So I was the project executive there. So when I was working on site with the workers, my first day there, I was a bit lost, like just coming out from poly, fresh out of poly, you don't really know what you want to do, everything. And then when I go there, I was like, okay, take the floor plan, go to your workers and tell them what you want them to do. So at that point, I was like, oh, this is real. This is actually real. And then when I went in, it was all males. So they had the impression that I couldn't do it. I could see in their eyes. I could see it straight in their eyes. They were like, okay, she might not have it, but let's just try to trust her, which I was really thankful for, because honestly, I didn't really know what I was going to do. So I just like, okay, you do this, you do that. And then I realized that you need to form that connection with the people, especially the people who help you execute the works on site, which is our foreign workers here, migrant workers, which I feel like they were really being not looked out for in our community here, which was quite sad. So when I worked with them, I was like, okay, I need to earn their trust. I need to have a connection with them, because I feel like it's very, very important for me, because I feel like I should work with them more and understand. So I took my laptop. I went all the way to the site, and then I sat there. And I was like, okay, let's do this together. And from that day on, I realized that their attitude, the things they say to me, changed a lot. Yeah. So it's not really more of like, you cannot thrive in a male-dominant field. You cannot be who you are in a male-dominant field. It's more of like, how you want to show yourself to the world. How do you want to put yourself out there? Do you want to just tell yourself like, if I'm in the engineering, means I'm in a male-dominant field, means the males will get more benefit than me. But that's not true. We have a lot of successful females engineers out there, and they're doing really, really good. Yeah.
Yeah. It goes back to the mindset. I think your mindset was really excellent, and it's good to know that you are able to negotiate these issues lah. But just to clarify, so at that point in time, you were an intern.
At the contractor firm?
Yeah.
No, it was my full-time.
Oh, you were working full-time?
I did full-time contract base for 4 months before I came into uni.
Oh, okay. I guess that's why you are very mature also lah, because you work a little bit at least, you 见过世界 lah, in that sense.
I was like, I just wanted to explore. Like, I wanted to do all the stakeholders. That was my goal in life.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
Yeah. What message do you have for young females out there who want to explore engineering as a profession?
If you really want to do it, you can. Just try your best. If you meet someone that tells you you can't, just tell yourself that person is just a passing by comment. Just deal with your feelings, deal with how you're feeling, power through, and you'll be fine.
What happens if the comment comes from like friends and family?
That's fine. We get comments from everybody out there. It's whether or not you choose to listen to your comments, whether or not you choose to believe that you are the one that's going to path out your life, or it's the people around you that give you the comments and tell you like, oh, maybe it won't be good for that. And then if you feel like you'll be shaken by that, honestly, you should try your best to just tune it in and just do what you're good for. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Ethel. With this kind of positivity, you all must like, share and subscribe. This one is 100% because if you help us to grow this channel, right, then we can have more people like Ethel back. And also leave your comments below if you want her back for a future episode for mindset. Or we can do a live yoga session.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.